Right angles placed onto a circle dictate a change in direction, corresponding completely to the direction of the aforementioned angle when the circle is placed with its north side facing forward. An insignia of inverse, such as the ones discussed in the previous chapter, can be applicable to direction changes using right angles. Insignia placed around the entire circle invert the effects of the entire spell, including any directional changes. However, if the insignia is placed within the confines of the right angle, it will affect only the directional change, as well as any other connective areas of... You're bored. It's not a question, it's a statement. You're bored. None of this is getting through to you. Oh, really? Okay. Describe the last thing I talked about. That was 3 chapters ago. Me reading this book to you isn't going to get anything through that skull of yours. At this rate, you're going to be barely understanding the basics of drawing circles, while the rest of us are going over functional adaptations and adjustments to projected spell effects. Which means I'm going to have to take a more active approach. Here you go. Take this pen. Now give me your hand. Okay. You understand the basics, which is nice. This circle is the conduit. It carries the power in a nice little loop, preventing it from spilling out into the world. No, it doesn't short circuit. And no, I'm not going to explain why it can't. It's not electricity. Simple as that. More advanced conduits can be drawn like triangles, squares, dodecahedrons, but those aren't the basics. So forget I told you about those. Whatever we put inside the circle is our instructions for the circle. It tells the circle what we want to use the power it has for. So something simple like this. We'll just light up those lines in a little spiral. They say to the circle that it wants to turn the energy into photons. The intensity of the spiral is the wavelengths. It's a pretty tight spiral, so it will make visible white light. Since we don't have anything else for it to do, it'll just project those photons into the air, creating a glow. Now all that's left for you to do is project your willpower into it, giving it that energy. Something like this isn't too useful. It burns up energy pretty quickly and is a little blinding to look at. There it goes. I mean, circles naturally give off light as a byproduct of the energy they're given. So one designed to make more light is a bit redundant. It's a good starting place for beginners, though. When are you going to get to project circles? Like paperless? That's a while away. Look, magic takes a lot of learning, okay? So just be patient. For now, we can move on to a few basic principles of circle drawing. Alright, you got your spell, a pretty useless one, but it's functional. Now, say you want to fire that as like a ball at people. Here, I'll guide your hand. Pay attention, this is where it gets complicated. go. It's a bit shaky, but shouldn't explode. Come on, I'm kidding. I wouldn't let you explode on my watch. This should allow you to pour some energy into the circle, making an orb of pure light just above it. Add a bit more. It shoots off. It won't actually hurt someone since it's just light. Might freak them out a bit though. Alright, give it a go. There, your very own light orb. Be careful with it now, with great power and all that. Now try adding a bit more energy. Awesome, right? Now imagine doing that, but you're like throwing fire at a Yeti or something. Yeah, Yeti. Real as ever. I mean, not on Earth, but out there, in space. I bet there's a planet full of Yetis. And snakes with legs. Kind of like lizard centipedes. Hold your horses, partner. I'm not teaching you how to teleport into deep space until you know how to not bisect yourself doing so. Anyway, now you've got the basics of altering region spell circles. I'm going to teach you how to read them. This part gets really boring no matter how you do it. Okay, so memorizing. There are yes, 11,000 entries in this book and about 1,300 pages. Now, the textbook goes over some of these, but in a more general sense. Like this has entries for right angles, left-facing right angles, both of those but with a sigil of the inverse. Whereas the textbook gives the basics on the groups of these. The turns, death rattle effects for projectiles, dozens of types of levitation and such. You don't want to read this right now? Alright, I get that. Instead, I guess I can go over the general stuff. But, promise me you'll read some of this tomorrow, okay? Good. Okay, well, I would guess that we can start with the links. Links allow 2 or more circles to join together and communicate. This allows for much more advanced effects than a regular circle, as well as giving you bigger and more complex conduits to work with. Linked circles, unfortunately, drain way more power than 2 separate circles. With enough practice, this doesn't pose much of an issue, but for beginners, it's recommended to be careful using linked circles, lest you wear yourself out. Okay, so I was thinking next we